We have all seen the movies. Billion-dollar F-35s, Top Gun heroics, and invisible stealth tech. We are told that superiority belongs to whoever has the biggest research and development budget. Hold up, that is a lie. While the United States is busy building $34 million Reapers, Iran is flooding the market with flying lawnmowers that cost less than your used Honda Civic. This is not just a military exercise, it is a budget-friendly hostile takeover of global security. You have been gaslit into believing that more expensive means more winning. But in the real world, the spreadsheet is the ultimate weapon. Iran has realized that you do not need an expensive scalpel when 1,000 paper cuts will do the job just as well. They are playing a high-volume game while the West is stuck in a high-cost trap. It is a classic skill issue on a geopolitical scale. The system is lagging, and the disruptors are already at the gate. The era of the shiny, overpriced predator is over. Welcome to the age of the deadly disposable drone. Ready to shift? Let us dive into the mechanism of the asymmetric scam known as Iranian Drone Strategy. Let's talk about the retail therapy of the apocalypse. You know Shein, right? That massive online store where you can buy a whole new wardrobe for the price of a single Starbucks latte. It is fast, it is cheap, and it is completely disposable. If it rips after one wear, who cares? You just buy 10 more. Now imagine applying that exact same business model to international conflict. That is exactly what Iran has done with their drone program. They have become the Shein of warfare, and the West is still trying to sell everyone a luxury Gucci suit that takes 5 years to tailor and costs 100 times more than it should. Here is the cold, hard math that should make every taxpayer want to scream. A single Iranian Shahed 136 drone costs roughly $20,000 to manufacture. To put that in perspective, that is less than the price of a base model Toyota Corolla. It is made of plywood, plastic, and it is powered by a literal lawnmower engine that sounds like a very angry weed whacker. It uses off-the-shelf GPS parts you can probably find on Alibaba. It is not sophisticated. It is not elegant. It is a flying brick with a bomb attached to it. But here's where the spreadsheet war turns into a total nightmare for the established powers. To shoot down one of these $20,000 flying lawnmowers, the United States and its allies often have to use a Patriot missile. Do you know how much a single Patriot missile costs? It is roughly $4 million. Let that sink in for a second. We are spending $4 million to destroy a $20,000 piece of junk. That is a cost ratio of 200 to 1. That is not a victory. That is a financial suicide note. In the world of high finance and geopolitical strategy, we call this a catastrophic L ratio. Iran is not trying to build the best drone in the world. They are just trying to build the most annoying and cost-effective one. They know that if they launch a swarm of 100 drones, it only costs them $2 million. For the defender to shoot them all down, it would cost $400 million. Iran can do this all day. They have the industrial stamina of a fast fashion giant. Meanwhile, the United States defense budget is being bled dry by the sheer cost of its own sophistication. It is a classic skill issue. We are so obsessed with high-tech superiority that we have forgotten how to fight a low-tech flood. We are using a gold-plated sledgehammer to kill a swarm of flies. Sure, you might hit a few, but eventually you are going to get tired, your arm will hurt, and you will run out of gold. The Iranian strategy is built on the realization that in a long war, the winner is not the one with the best toys, but the one who can afford to keep playing the longest. They are winning the spreadsheet, while the West is busy winning the tech expo. This is what happens when a country embraces the concept of cost asymmetry. They have turned warfare into a volume game. It is warfare as a service, but the service is just making your enemy go bankrupt trying to stay safe. Every time a news report shows a successful intercept of an Iranian drone, the military generals pat themselves on the back. They show the footage in slow motion and talk about how great our defense systems are. But behind the scenes, the accountants are sweating. They know that every interception is a net loss for the treasury. Why does the system keep playing this losing game? Because the defense industrial complex loves it. Why build a cheap $5,000 interceptor when you can convince the government to buy a $4 million missile? The contractors get their bonuses, the politicians look tough on defense, and the taxpayers keep footing the bill for a strategy that is fundamentally broken. It is a massive circle jerk of inefficiency. Iran is basically looking at the Western military doctrine and saying, "Nice Rolex, but my $10 Casio tells the same time, and I have 1 million of them." They have disrupted the market. They have democratized high-precision strikes by making them low-cost and high-volume. This is the Shein model of warfare, and it is tearing the old world order apart. One $20,000 drone at a time. Your expensive defense system is not a shield. It is a giant target that says, "Please come and make me spend all my money." It is the ultimate flex of the budget disruptor. Ready for the next mechanism? It gets even more cynical from here. If you think Iran is just a rogue state hiding in the desert, you are stuck in the 1990s. Wake up. They have evolved into a global tech franchise. Have you ever bought a generic product at a grocery store and realized it is the exact same thing as the name brand, just with a different sticker? In the business world, we call that white labeling. Iran has perfected this for the theater of war. They are not just selling drones, they are running a global franchise where they provide the hardware and their partners provide the plausible deniability. Take a look at the relationship between Tehran and Moscow. It is the ultimate corporate merger of the sanctioned. Russia, a supposed military superpower, is now basically a customer of the Iranian drone store. When you see a Garand 2 drone hitting a target in Ukraine, do not be fooled by the Russian name. Underneath that fresh coat of paint, it is an Iranian Shahed 136. It is the same tech, the same lawnmower engine, and the same deadly efficiency. This is a white label masterpiece. Russia gets a cheap way to terrorize infrastructure, and Iran gets to say, hey, it is not us, we just sold some stuff before the war started. But it goes deeper than just selling products. This is warfare as a service, or WAS. Think of it like a cloud computing platform. Iran provides the infrastructure, the blueprints, and the technical support. They have even helped Russia set up a massive drone factory in the Alabuga Special Economic Zone. This is not a simple transaction. This is a licensing deal. Iran is scaling their business without having to put their own boots on the ground. They are the silent partners in a global conflict, collecting royalties in the form of gold, captured Western tech, and geopolitical influence. Now, let's talk about those joint exercises we see in the news. You know, the ones in the Strait of Hormuz involving Russia, China, and Iran. The media likes to call these maritime security belts. That is just corporate speak for a global beta test. These drills are not about world peace or protecting trade routes. They are a live demo for potential investors. It is like a tech conference where the keynote speech is delivered by a kamikaze drone. Iran uses these exercises to show off how their low-cost tech can integrate with big boy navies. They are basically telling the world, look, even the Russian Navy uses our stuff. Why shouldn't you? This franchise model gives Iran something more valuable than money. It gives them plausible deniability. In the old days, if you wanted to mess with a superpower, you had to take the heat yourself. Now, you just lease your tech to a proxy or a desperate partner. When the drone hits the target, everyone knows who made it, but the diplomats can play their stupid little games of cat and mouse at the United Nations. Iran gets to stay in the shadows while their brand becomes the industry standard for asymmetric warfare. It is a brilliant move. They have turned their entire country into a research and development lab for cheap destruction. While the United States is bogged down in red tape and export controls, Iran is out there in the wild, iterating their product in real time on the battlefield. Every time a Russian general orders 1,000 more drones, the Iranian engineers get a massive data set on what works and what does not. It is the ultimate feedback loop. They are using Russia as a giant, state-sponsored quality assurance department. The West is still trying to fight this with sanctions and strongly worded letters. It is laughable. How do you sanction a franchise that uses off-the-shelf parts from the very countries trying to stop them? You can find Western-made microchips inside these drones all the time. The supply chain is a joke. Iran has realized that in a globalized world, you cannot truly block the flow of cheap tech. They are the pirates of the 2020s, and they have built a business model that is immune to the old rules of diplomacy. This is the shift you need to understand. War is no longer just about flags and borders. It is about brands and platforms. Iran is the Amazon Web Services of cheap death. They provide the backend, the logistics, and the hardware. All you have to do is provide the target. They are expanding their franchise to groups all over the Middle East and beyond. It is a scalable, low-risk, high-reward business model that has completely flipped the script on how a regional power can project strength. So, next time you see a joint military exercise on the news, do not think of it as a bunch of ships sailing in a circle. Think of it as a shareholder meeting. Think of it as a product launch. Iran is just getting started, and their white label franchise is the most successful startup the world of warfare has seen in decades. They are not just playing the game, they are owning the platform. Every time you hear a loud bang in the sky and see a ball of fire, you probably think the good guys just won. You see the grainy footage of a missile intercepting a drone, and you think, great, another threat neutralized. But in the world of high-stakes information warfare, that explosion is not the end of the story. It is just the beginning of a data transfer. Welcome to the world of data arbitrage, where Iran is turning every single one of its destroyed drones into a massive win for their future engineering. While the United States is busy celebrating a tactical hit, Iran is busy collecting the skill points. In the financial world, arbitrage is when you take advantage of a price difference in two different markets to make a profit. In the drone world, Iran is practicing information arbitrage. They are trading a $20,000 piece of flying plywood for million-dollar secrets about the most advanced defense systems on the planet. Think about it. To shoot down a drone, you have to turn on your radar. The moment you flip that switch, you are shouting your location, your frequency, and your electronic signature to everyone in the neighborhood. Every time a Patriot battery or a German Gepard engages an Iranian drone, those drones are acting like high-tech sponges. They are recording the response times, the flight paths of the interceptors, and the specific ways the radar tries to lock onto them. Even if the drone gets blown to pieces, the data has often already been transmitted back to base or captured by nearby observers. This is a massive skill issue for the West. We are playing a game where we think the goal is to keep our house safe. Iran is playing a game where the goal is to map the entire security system of the house so they can burn it down more efficiently next time. They are essentially running a giant real-time beta test on the world's most expensive military hardware, and they are doing it on someone else's dime. Let's look at the math of this information harvest. The United States spends billions of dollars every year on research and development to keep its electronic warfare capabilities secret. We guard our radar frequencies like they are the crown jewels. But Iran has found a way to force us to reveal those secrets for the low price of $20,000. Every drone they launch into a contested airspace is a probe. It is a question. They are asking the Western defense systems, hey, how do you react to this? How about this? How many of us do you need to see before you get overwhelmed? This is the ultimate IPO for their next generation technology. They are taking all the data from the failures in Ukraine or the Middle East and feeding it directly into their next design iteration. In the tech world, we call this a rapid feedback loop. In the military world, we should call it a catastrophe. While our defense contractors take 10 years and $5 billion to release a patch for a missile system, Iranian engineers can adjust their drone algorithms in a matter of weeks based on real-world combat data. They are iterating faster than we can adapt. They are living in the future while we are stuck in a 20-year-old procurement cycle. And here's the most cynical part. The more we shoot them down, the smarter they get. We are literally training their artificial intelligence for them. Every successful interception provides a data point on how to avoid the next one. They are mapping the gaps in our coverage, the blind spots in our sensors, and the limits of our magazines. They know exactly how many missiles we have left in a specific battery and how long it takes us to reload. This is not just a military conflict, it is a giant state-sponsored data mining operation. The West is suffering from a massive case of institutional lag. We are so proud of our 100% intercept rates that we fail to see the bigger picture. We are winning the battle but losing the information war. We are giving away our most valuable secrets in exchange for the temporary satisfaction of seeing a cheap drone go poof. It is a terrible trade. It is the definition of an L ratio. We are trading our high-value, long-term technical advantages for low-value, short-term tactical wins. Iran is basically using the entire world as their testing ground. They do not need a multi-billion-dollar testing range in the desert because they have the suburbs of Kyiv or the shipping lanes of the Red Sea. They are getting high-fidelity, real-world data that money simply cannot buy. And the best part for them? They are getting it for free. Actually, it is better than free. Their partners, like Russia, are often the ones paying for the drones in the first place. Iran gets the cash, Russia gets the hardware, and Iran gets the data. It is a triple win for the disruptors. This is why the joint exercises with Russia and China are so dangerous. It is not just about ships and planes moving in formation. It is about syncing their data sets. It is about creating a shared library of Western vulnerabilities. When Iran shares its drone data with China, and China shares its satellite intel with Iran, the collective knowledge of the anti-Western bloc grows exponentially. They are leveling up together while we are siloed in our own expensive, secretive programs. So, while the pundits on TV talk about how many drones were intercepted last night, you need to be looking at the spreadsheet. You need to be asking yourself, what did we just give away? What did they just learn? Because the next swarm will not look like the last one. It will be faster, it will be harder to detect, and it will be specifically designed to exploit the very secrets we revealed while shooting down the last batch. The system is being gamed. We are the ones providing the training data for our own obsolescence. We are paying to be disrupted. It is a classic case of a legacy player being too arrogant to see the threat from the low-cost newcomer. Iran has realized that in the 2020s, information is the only currency that matters. And they are currently the richest player in the room when it comes to the data of asymmetric death. Ready to hear the final verdict? It is time to face the cold reality of where this is all heading. So here we are at the end of the line. We have looked at the spreadsheet, We have looked at the franchises. We have looked at the data theft happening in real time. And you might be waiting for me to give you a silver lining. You might be hoping I will say that the West has a secret plan or a new piece of technology that will magically fix this. But that would be a lie, and on this channel, we do not do copium, we do reality. The cold reality is that the system loves this losing game. The high-cost game is a drug, and the United States and its allies are addicted to the fix. Think about the incentive structure. If you are a general at the Pentagon, do you want to tell Congress that you need a $5,000 drone that looks like a toy? Or do you want to ask for a $5 billion program for a new laser system that might work in 10 years? The $5 billion program gets you a bigger office, more staff, and a high-paying board seat at a defense contractor when you retire. The cheap drone gets you laughed out of the room. This is the institutional rot that Iran is exploiting. It is a systemic skill issue that goes all the way to the top. We are living in an era of massive cognitive dissonance. We watch videos of drones being shot down and we feel safe, ignoring the fact that the math is literally bankrupting our future. Every intercept is a withdrawal from the national treasury and a deposit into Iran's data bank. We are the ultimate bag holders in a geopolitical pump and dump scheme. The defense contractors pump the fear, the politicians dump the taxpayer money into overpriced missiles, and we are left holding the bag while the disruptors change the rules of the world order. It is easy to blame Iran or Russia or China, but they are just playing the hand they were dealt. They saw a flaw in the Western operating system and they wrote an exploit. They realized that the West is optimized for a type of war that no longer exists. We are optimized for big, expensive, high-stakes battles between peer competitors. We are not optimized for a million paper cuts from 1,000 different directions. We are a heavyweight boxer trying to fight a swarm of bees. You can punch as hard as you want, but you are still going to get stung to death. The era of the untouchable superpower is over. In the 2020s, power is decentralized. Power is cheap. Power is disposable. If you can build a weapon for the price of a laptop, the old gatekeepers of security have no power left. The monopoly on violence has been broken by the Sheen model of warfare. This is not just about drones. This is about the end of the high-cost barrier to entry for global influence. Anyone with a garage and an internet connection can now project power in ways that used to require a national space program. And do not think for a second that this stays on the battlefield. This mentality is shifting everything. It is shifting how we think about value, how we think about security, and how we think about the future. The world is becoming a place where the agile and the cheap will always outpace the slow and the expensive. The legacy players are lagging, and the lag is becoming fatal. We are seeing a real-time rebalancing of global strength, and it is not happening in a treaty room. It is happening on a production line in a sanctioned country using parts bought on the open market. So what is the play? For you, the individual, the lesson is simple. Stop trusting the shiny packaging. Stop believing that because something is expensive, it is effective. The world is shifting, and if you are still relying on the old maps, you are going to get lost. You need to understand the mechanisms of disruption, because if you do not, you are just another data point in someone else's harvest. The system is not going to save you. The system is too busy protecting its own profit margins. The politicians will keep talking about strength while they sign the checks for the L ratio defense. The contractors will keep building the $4 million missiles because that is what their shareholders want. No one is coming to fix the spreadsheet. You have to be the one to shift your perspective. You have to be the one to see the gear shift before it grinds you down. Iran's drones are a wake-up call that the world has already changed. We are playing a new game on a new map with new rules. The old guard is still trying to use the manual from 1991, and they are getting absolutely cooked. They are stuck in a cycle of high-cost failure, while the disruptors are iterating at the speed of light. It is a classic case of main character energy meeting a swarm of NPCs that actually have better stats. The reality is cold, it is hard, and it is not going to get easier. The asymmetric scam is here to stay because it works. It is efficient, it is scalable, and it is profitable for the people who matter. We are moving into a future where the most dangerous thing you can be is predictable and expensive. If you are both of those things, you are already dead. You just do not know it yet. So stay sharp. Watch the numbers, not the explosions. Understand that every time the system tells you we are winning, you should probably check your wallet and your security. The shift is happening right now, whether you like it or not. The only question is whether you are going to be a part of the new mechanism or just another piece of debris on the floor of the spreadsheet war. That's it for today. Stay sharp and keep shifting. You know the drill. Like and subscribe.